Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We're here today to share with you our story about how we have started to re-engineer our customer decisioning platform at British Gas. This afternoon, we're going to focus on three key areas: a bit about our context and our strategy, the approach we have taken for next generation decision. I'm going to let Joe talk about that. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to share some of the challenges and learnings we faced along the way. So before I start, a bit about our heritage. So Steve has already mentioned that we seem to have been around for ages. Well, I suspect most of you will know something about British Gas, and there's a good chance that some of you are one of our 10.5 million residential customers. What you might not know is that British Gas is actually one of the oldest companies in the world. In 1812, we started out by hand lighting the first gas-powered streetlights in Westminster. And every night, we still hand light the 1,500 remaining gas lamps in London. But if I'm honest, we're much more focused on helping customers achieve smooth running homes that save time, energy, and money. And within the British Gas business today, we have also been embracing innovation, and we were given a simple mission to make the connected home a reality for everyone, and not just the technophiles among us. We're giving customers more control over their lives and homes by providing products that are beautiful in simplicity and design. And I think this is really epitomised by Hive Active Heating, which is our first product and was created from that philosophy. Launched in 2013, it's already the UK's #1 connected home thermostat. Our challenge, however, is to embrace this innovation throughout British Gas and become the 21st century energy and services company that our customers expect. So, with all this heritage actually does come a fair bit of legacy, and that's the world that Joe and I live in. I believe people don't come together to do a bad job at work. However, sometimes decisions are made for good reason in either projects or small teams on an ongoing basis. And then, with periods of organic growth and restructuring, comes a spider's web of technologies that result in silos of business operations. And if sometimes you just step back, you sometimes see the bigger picture, and you can see that this has often resulted in a disjointed customer interactions or silos of customer experience, something we've heard a little bit about earlier today. And a really clear example I can bring this home at British Gas is moving home, which at one point we were calculated had 17 different customer communications. But in contrast, many companies simply think of this as a change of address. In the decisioning world, we also face some constraints on our flexibility, partly due to conduct and regulation rules, but we didn't have the capability we wanted to bring bundles to market. And we also have a responsibility to provide balance. On kind of the one side of the coin, we have a duty of care to manage the regulatory burden in the energy sphere, and there is an evolving privacy legislation that has to be met. Data is increasingly in more demand, so that we can show access to that and show that we know our customers more deeply. And we also need to ensure that we're treating customers fairly at all times. On the opposite side of the coin, we have to put customers at the heart of our business and optimize and arbitrate to deliver a better experience. We need to innovate our products and journeys. And we also have a really big responsibility to our shareholders to use the resources we're given efficiently. So if I think about what that feels like, it feels like in our business, all our P&Ls come together and they discuss their individual targets and objectives, and we sit at the crossroads where our job is to keep the customer happy, drive a great experience, and deliver the business objective. And to fully realise our ambition and do a good job of sitting at this crossroads, we knew we had to re-engineer our customer decisioning platform to take it to the next level, to unlock improvements in customer experience and create more from the significant data assets that we've had and really unlock some of the value in our organisation that was effectively sitting there untapped. And really happily, this kind of aligns very closely with the new Centrica vision, which is about satisfying the changing needs of our customers. And serving customers is what we are known for at British Gas and what we're good at, and we have distinct capabilities. We're known for supplying energy with some really strong brands with Sainsbury's Energy and British Gas. And we are supported by dedicated and caring teams. We have a distinctive services capability. So we have over 12,000 engineers and technicians in people's homes every day of the year fixing problems and helping keeping those homes run smoothly. And we're also creating a new global connected homes business. We're investing in innovation to build on our leadership position and expand beyond our current markets. We will grow our business by improving customer service, developing the right offers to retain and win customers, and improving efficiency. The role of next generation decisioning, well, that's to help move us from product push to customer conversations. We believe with a deeper understanding of our customers, we can create a personalised, relevant and timely dialogue with them so that they can choose to engage, buy more and stay longer. A little bit about the customer life cycle you've also heard today. So, where do we start out on this journey? Well, in BG today there are two capabilities that we have. The first is what we call best next action, or I know in this room we call it next best action in Pega speak. But really, we just think that's an epitome of how we think about putting the customer first in our organisation. We think best next action is something we do for the customer, not to the customer. And that serves our inbound channels. And we also have a campaign system that serves our outbound channels. And both of these huge machines operate separately in silos today. And if we were targeting an outbound campaign for an offer, we wouldn't recognise that a customer may have called in yesterday and rejected the same offer. And the converse is true in our inbound world, where we don't leverage the scale and breadth of our outbound communications to effectively power up the conversations we have with customers in our contact centres. And if you think about it, this simply isn't efficient and is confusing to the customer. You will also notice that many of the elements on those wheels are the same. In both worlds, we need to have an offer, we need to apply rules and models, and we need to complete planning and forecasting regardless of the channel the customer comes through. Our approach is simply to bring this together for a better, more coherent experience that is more relevant to British Gas customers. So today we are bringing inbound and outbound channels together and structuring both of them around our customer journeys. We think this puts the customer first and helps us think about what their best action is, and that is completely in relation to their current context. We will create all our offers and analytics once, and we're moving to a single integrated contact plan. All of our channels will then use this plan to deliver an integrated marketing experience. We think this is truly customer-centric and creates a world where our customers will receive a single message across each of their touch points. I'm now going to hand over to Joe to talk about how we've approached the deployment of next generation decisioning at British Gas.
Thanks, Steve. So here's our dilemma. 4 or 5 years ago, we built a solution, and that worked really well for us. But over time, we've added a little bit here, we've added a little bit here, there. And in fact, some other people have come and moved into our house with us. And now it's starting to creak. So I liken this to my own personal situation. So my husband and I have deliberated for a number of years as to whether we should extend the property we currently live in or whether we should move somewhere else to a bigger house. And we have room to extend, that would be fine. We could add 2 stories, should we so wish. We could knock things down, we could add things on, we could dig up the garden, whatever we want to do. But the fact would still remain that we'd be compromising, and there would be just that little bit that didn't work. There'd be a room that was just too small or didn't work for us, and we'd end up moving anyway. But before that, we'd have ploughed an awful lot of money in. Wrong one. Would have ploughed an awful lot of money in to that property, only to realise the house prices have gone up. At British Gas, we've decided to move now, to re-platform, to move into a new home that will allow us to achieve our vision and grow into that home over time. So here's how we used to do it. So Steve's talked a little about this already. Right now, we have a structured data warehouse. And on that structured data warehouse, we run all our outbound campaigning. To do that, we use a traditional outbound campaign tool, and we run that on a fortnightly basis and the most. We do have some events and some trigger data going out the door, but it's run semi-automatic, and we do have to send files out to our channels. That incurs some latency along the way as well. Then we have our inbound next best action, or best next action, however you want to call it. This is built in raw SQL. It's essentially a 5-year-old proof of concept. It's masses and masses of files, scripts on top of each other that actually work out what the best thing to talk to a customer is, and then it arbitrates against them. We run that on a weekly basis in batch on our data warehouse, and that means that the data in our channels is at least 4 to 11 days out of date at any one time. It's run on a different data set from the outbound campaigning, and that means the two do not talk to each other. There is no shared contact history between them. We have no idea what's happening in one or the other channels. The reality of that is that we could give a customer a contradictory message, or in fact the same message on the same day, but via a different channel. Not particularly great. So here's what we're going to do. I mentioned that we wanted to achieve our vision and we wanted to grow into our new home. So we're adopting a phased approach in our delivery of next generation decisioning. That will allow us to take early benefit. We will be able to grow and achieve our vision over time, and we'll be able to take advantage of the great Pega capability from day one. We have a structured data warehouse that I already talked about. That's actually being decommissioned this year. And in fact, we have an IT strategy that's removing that and putting in place a big data lake, as we call it, based on Hadoop. So big data for us. In phase 1, which went live on the 21st of January this year, just 5.5 months after we signed a contract with Pega, we're moving all our inbound best next action capability into our new cloud-based solution. With that, we get to take advantage of great simulation capability. We're also moving away from a raw SQL approach and a proof of concept to a robust solution that our 3,000 call center agents demand from us. And that's both in our call center and our digital spaces. Phase 2 is a big ticket item for us. This is where we bring the inbound and the outbound capability under one single roof. We'll move to a world where we start thinking about what we want to talk to a customer about first, and the channel becomes secondary. Gone are the days when we'll have no idea of what's happening in each channel. We'll have, for example, if we decide that we want to talk to a customer about home care, so protection for your boiler, essentially, we might decide that we're going to select a certain customer for that, and we're going to call them on Tuesday, because that's the channel we've decided is best. If they then call us on Monday into our inbound call center, we'll know about that outbound call that was planned. We might decide to instead do it inbound and remove them from that outbound call, so that won't happen on a Tuesday. And that will really improve and reduce our bad contact to customers. The other thing we're doing in phase 2 is putting live our field engineer channel. So Steve mentioned we have 12,000 engineers, and between them, they make 9 million visits to our customers on a yearly basis. And right now, when they walk into a customer's home, they have absolutely no idea whether that customer is on supply with us. We're going to change that in this phase so that they actually are on board. They have a best next action that they can walk in, they can talk to a customer, they'll know whether they have electricity and gas with us, I'll know whether to talk to them about it or not. That's a really big thing for us to move forward and join up those conversations across all those channels. Phase 3, come on to now. We talked about phase 1 and phase 2 have both been in batch mode, so we're actually pre-selecting customers and sending that out. So we have, a 1 to 2 day latency on that. In phase 3, we move into a world of real time. I'm going to do that first in our digital channel. Kind of the obvious choice for us because of the amount of data we'll have at our fingertips. And we'll start to add colour to that conversation by way of context. So we'll have an idea of what page a customer is on and be able to use that to inform what we want to talk to a customer about next. The bit I'm also really excited about in phase 3 is our email capability that we get with Pega. So right now, we select customers for email campaign. It takes about 2 weeks for that campaign to get out the door. When we introduce Pega email capability, we'll be able to decide what we want to talk to that customer about, not when we select them for the campaign, not when we send it, but when the customer opens the email, which means we'll be incredibly relevant and timely to that conversation. Phase 4, our final phase, moves all the other channels into the real-time space. So we'll bring our inbound call center agents into the world of real-time and be able to have that context of the conversation with them as well. So if a customer's calling us to complain, we'll know we shouldn't try and sell them something because that just would be inappropriate. So by the end of phase 4, we have centralized decisioning across all customer touch points. That's on demand and based in the Pega Elastic Cloud. We also talk about simulation a little bit, what we've already taken advantage of, and the ability to be able to walk into our trading meetings and say to our, all our trading senior managers that we know roughly, we can predict what our sales are going to be by each channel. And if we tweak something over here and we tweak something over there, what's the impact of that change? It's incredibly powerful for our leadership teams. And here's our new house. I'd like to say mine's going to be that nice, but I don't want to tempt fate. Obviously, I'll show you a picture when I've moved. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. We already know that we've made the right decision to move into this new house to be able to grow into it. Right now, we're able to simulate over 1 billion offers in under 3 hours. We've also already taken advantage of Pega Elastic Cloud. So when phase 1 went live, we had a lovely 2 weeks in December when we started our performance testing. And let's say it wasn't going as fast as we expected, but within 2 weeks, we changed the batch run down from 60 hours to 1 hour, 40 minutes. And we did that in 2 weeks, something you just wouldn't get if you were doing it on premise. So for us, the benefits are crystal clear. The fact that we'll bring together centralized strategies across all of our channels means we'll be having a consistent conversation with our customers that's personalized, timely, and relevant. One single capability means one team, one more efficient team, and smaller. And also it fits really well with our IT strategy of moving to big data, which is allowing us to monetize that program of moving to big data. Our business case is therefore based on multi-million-pound savings. And in phase 1 already, we've seen an increase in conversion rate of over 20% just in phase 1. Steve.
Thank you, Joe. I think you'll agree they're a pretty good set of benefits. So if those are the benefits, what are the key challenges? And when I sat down and thought about this, I still come back to the first thing we need to do is we need to work hard to rewire the business's own brain and change it to think more about customer. So think why you want to do something and best next action first. And as Joe said, put channel second. That is a journey that the British Gas has still got to go on with its commercial teams, and kind of Joe and I are at the forefront of leading. We've also, to get most out of the technology, we need to drive end-to-end innovation, both on the hardware side with the Internet of Things. I think plenty of people have talked about that today. And for us, that's going to bring about the advent of things like connected smart boilers, going from the ability to predict a breakdown rather than wait for it to happen. These sorts of products and things we can bring and experiences we can bring to market are going to be truly revolutionary from where customers have understood the art of the possibility today. In our customer journeys, where we need to become seamless across channels and start moving those customer interactions between all the different parts of our estate. And in our contact strategy, something I'm responsible for, we need to move from a traditional one-size-fits-all approach to a customer-level plan. We also need to create greater relevance through personalised bundles with clear investment frameworks for each customer. This is something I think will come around in as the regulation changes later this year, something we're becoming increasingly focused on. But I feel pretty glad that we're sitting there with Pega and we're able to create this on demand across all our products, across all channels. And if I think back to the conversations we were having a year ago, one vendor even suggested us that inbound and outbound were fundamentally different and couldn't be handled in one solution. As you can see, we, however, think differently. So, what did we learn? Well, I think in terms of what we learned, we really liked our business-driven approach. We moved at absolute pace for British Gas, just 6 months for us to sign a contract and get phase 1 best next action rolled out. And actually that was undertaken as additional work within our in-year IT change plan. That is completely unheard of in British Gas, something that's not a monolithic process that's normally planned about 18 months in advance. We initiated decisioning with what we had, and so Joe's spoken about that IT migration and going from a traditional data warehouse to a big data implementation. So that actually facilitated replumbing some of our feeds. So we actually made a unified customer view, and that was held within a cloud. And that was something that I heard in reference in one of Alan's videos on earlier in the year. So it was really great to say that we'd actually done that already. And we even feel okay about cheating a little. So we actually copied some of our data from our traditional warehouse to our cloud environment in the short term until our migration plans and our IS activity catched or caught up with us. So we're in the process of removing those workarounds now, but we've already had the benefit of decisioning for 4 months, making money for the business. As Joe said, we've embraced simulation, and we've taken that opportunity to increase the what-if scenario modelling. So it's great to sit there having informed decisions with leadership teams about our portfolio, having simulated and debated the impact. And I think that really helps when we stand at the crossroads. My CRM team are seen as having a seat at the table and really guiding the decision-making of the business. In terms of adaptive modelling, well, for now, we have just switched that on, and we're learning. And we're letting it learn. But later in the year, we're going to come back to that, and it's going to start teaching us and start training our modelling and analytics to become better. Well, Pega Cloud, we've spoken a little bit about that as well. We really liked it because being a British Gas is quite a cautious company. We were really delighted that it exceeded all our parameters for our internal security compliance requirements. So it made it a really easy decision for us to get that data in the cloud. Joe spoke about the scalability and flexibility to go from 2 hours to go from 60 hours processing down to 1.5 hours for the billion offers that we needed to simulate. I actually went a bit further, and with colleagues we asked IT, how long would it have taken us to make that change in our infrastructure if we'd been doing that as a traditional on-premise project? The answer we got, it could have been up to a 12-month upgrade plan. So we've gone from 12 months to 2 weeks. So in summary, I think it's been a pretty great year for us. We're only 11 months right now, guys, into our 24-month program. We've delivered phase 1, and we're well on the way to achieving phase 2. This is backed up by a measured 20% improvement in our performance, and that is only for phase 1. We've got lots more to come. We're aligning some more of our processes, and we're providing an integrated experience to 10 million customers. This shows that to the business that we're a high-performing CRM team that's generating real value to the bottom line. We've created a more efficient team that's engaged and wants to do the best thing for our customers. Some of us know we've already got strategy and changes that's bringing about change in British Gas. The engagement scores of my team are actually going up through that engagement just because the power they know that they're working on is the right thing for the customer. We've increased data latency, and we've moved to 1 day, so we can really know our customers and recognise them. And I'm massively excited to say in phase 3, we're going to get that to real time. We've made some really good decisions about our partners. So first and foremost with Pega, providing us a world-class decision engine backed with a fast cloud infrastructure. And Acura helping us translate these business requirements into both technical delivery and operational excellence. So 12 months in and 12 months to go. I'm really amazed and pleased by what we've been able to achieve in 12 months, and I'm really looking forward to the next 12 months when we get to fully realise our decision of an integrated decision platform working in real time against 10.5 million customers. Thank you very much for letting us share our story with you.